What on earth is that? It's a Journey into Comics Network production!
Tell me something, my friend. You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? What? I always ask that of all my prey. I just like the sound of it.
Brought to you by the power of the Journey into Comics Network. This is the Journey into Comics podcast, the show that's 100% dedicated to everything nerd. With your hosts, the Podfather, Nate Phillips, the Podmaster, Brandon Stone, and the Journey into Comics Network stepdad, Tyler McLaughlin.
Time to make the chimichangas.
30 seconds.
Hey,
Excellent!
Finally.
What did you do?
Oh, Fred. And here we go.
Can somebody tell me what kind of a world we live in where a man dressed up as a bat gets all of my press? This town needs an enema.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Journey into Comics. It's Journey into Comics 308. I am your host, Nate, the Podfather. Today, joining me, as always, welcome back to the show yet again, the Journey into Comics Network stepdad, swinging that 38 dick pics long pick. Welcome back to the show, TY. How's it going, brother, man?
I am having a great day. I am channeling my inner stepdad. I've been planning the remodel or the rebirth or the reinvigoration of a flower bed for the most of the weekend so far. And I went to bed last night before 10 p.m. So that's where I'm at. I ate I got a campfire s'mores milkshake from fucking Sonic last night, and I consumed all of it in one sitting, and it just about put me in a coma.
Sounds amazing. I love it. I love anything s'more flavored, so fuck yes. But although he's not s'more flavored, joining us yet again on the podcast, once again, the Podmaster. You guys know him and love him also on the Game Addicts podcast. Make sure to check them out. Welcome back, Brando. How's it going, brother?
How do you know I'm not s'more flavored?
Yeah, I was going to ask the same thing.
Because humans probably shouldn't be s'more flavored. If you're producing s'more flavors from your orifices, there's probably an issue. You have some sort of weird discrepancy.
But who wouldn't like that? I mean,
What if
No.
what if Brandon's pores just excrete like marshmallow whipped cream?
I thought you were going to say chocolate, and in one instance it does. But
Good Lord, man.
I went to bed super late last night because we had to put the kids to bed and do all that old jazz.
Mhm.
And we got a late start on dinner. I picked up some ribeyes, so I was going to grill out. But these baked potatoes I got were about the size of a football.
Jesus Christ, man.
awesome.
And so they
You
took...
always find the
potatoes.
world's largest potatoes.
I know, dude. You can fucking lob them right down the field.
Uncle Rico, everything.
Yeah.
Eat
Yeah,
your
man.
tots, God.
So,
God,
like,
Tina.
I got done eating at like midnight last night, and I was put into a coma.
Yeah.
I sat there. I was watching some video on YouTube with my. She was watching a movie, and I didn't want to watch it at the time, so I put my headphones on. I'm watching it, and I'm just like. and then the video ended. I'm like, oh, it's over, because it was like a half-hour video. So then I like hit it. I'm like, I gotta go to bed. Then I like meandered around, well, see, then I stood up, and then I realized, dude, you're still full.
Asleep.
Like asleep and full. Like that was way more food than I should have consumed. I was struggling.
You took 2 bites too many.
I was like John Candy in the Great Outdoors with the old 96er. Even though the steak wasn't that big, the potato was that big.
Gee, good God.
And I'm just there going, all right, potato's done. And it's like, he ain't done yet. What are you talking about? All that's left there is the skin. And like, I'm sitting there eating. I butter my skin and put salt and pepper on the outside of it. So I'm just going.
That's my favorite part of the potato.
Same. Oh man.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I was almond, And no, dude, it's good to be here again today here on the podcast. It's been too long. We don't get to do this often enough, even though it's only once a week. And there's something very important that we forgot here, guys.
Yeah, it's the 3-year anniversary of Journey into Comics Network.
I wasn't going to say that, but yes.
We did forget that, though. Congratulations to all of us for doing it.
Mother and Shark Week.
Shark Week.
Shark Week. There we go.
There it is.
Get it.
If I could find a way to realistically wear this hat while we record, I would do it. How about this?
There you go.
Okay. As long as it's not choking you.
Don't kink shame me.
Oh, man. What's that? There's a Mitch Hedberg joke about a turtleneck. It's like being like strangled by a really weak guy. And it's he said, and no offense is made by any terminology here, so I don't want anybody to get offended. But he's like, you wear a turtleneck and a backpack, it's like a weak midget trying to bring you down.
Oh, man. No, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah.
Network.
For those listeners. No. I want to talk about the listener for a second because they need to know something. If you're a listener, you should also be a watcher. You can check out this amazing hat that TY is rocking on the day. His Shark Week hat and
Shark
his
Week.
baby face.
Hey.
And the 3
My handsome
faces of
face.
us. Hey, no, it's not a bad thing. Having a baby face is a good thing. You look like you're 15 again. That's great. Huge win. It's like time traveling without actually getting in a DeLorean and shit, you know? It's like, it's great. But
you tell
can
me
you
built
imagine
a time machine in a DeLorean?
yeah.
Can
I
you
did.
imagine if Thanos, instead of snapping away everybody, he snapped and everybody waited to disappear and everybody's facial hair disappeared?
Oh, no.
It's-
You know
They
who
all had- they all had tentacle chins like he did.
well, I think that Cap and Thor would be most big sad that happened because they're rocking the most facial hair.
Fucking Rocket Raccoon, his entire fur. Woof.
Oh no!
He's hairless. Oh God. Spider-Man sitting there like, Mr. Stark, I don't feel anything. Mr. Stark, what's happening? He's like, you haven't hit puberty yet, kid. Oh, Mr. Stark. Like, damn it. Why you got to call me out during the, what would you call that? I don't know. I was going
The
to use something.
snapping.
Yeah, but I mean, that's something to do with facial hair too. I was trying to come up with a clever one and it doesn't. The shavening? That sounds weird.
The
Don't say
shavening.
that.
It's like everybody just gets a Brazilian too. It's like,
Oh,
Whoa,
no.
jeez.
whoa.
It's a little brisk down there.
Scorched earth.
Oh yeah, dude, we're starting the show right today.
We're
So I went
all
to the
our
movies
juices
yesterday.
are flowing. That's
Yes,
strange
yes.
to me. I'm not gonna lie, it's weird. It's good.
That I went to the movies yesterday.
Yeah, the movie theaters are open at all. It's just
Dude, it was great. It was the best movie
Please.
experience that I've had in the last 5 years.
then please enlighten us. I would love to hear the experience. And
So-
from your words, not from text, because I
Right.
already know the story.
So Goodrich Quality Theaters, obviously they filed Chapter 11. They went out of business. They had to close, doors. Right at the start of the pandemic shutting down, and then another company purchased the rights to GQT. They rebranded it a little bit. They kept everything the same. Here's some cool information. I got there yesterday and I was asking the manager because there was only a couple people working, a very, very minimal staffing yesterday. And the lady was very, very polite, very, very helpful. She said that like the rewards points that you had and the rewards cards and like everything that you had before they closed is going to be honored. It's going to continue. Just as they roll out a new website and stuff, they just have to update and change some things. So, like all of the Goodrich Quality Rewards has been fucking fantastic for years.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to continue. So the company that revived this theater chain, immediately gives a shit. They said they're going to lower concession prices. They're going to lower ticket prices. They're going to do all the things. But Ruby, Skylar, and I, our movie tickets were $3 each. So total, we went to the movies for $9, and then concessions were still a
Swish.
little bit expensive. But we walked in. The distancing was good. Nobody was right up my ass standing in line. There wasn't a lot of people there to begin with. We bought our tickets. Same thing for concessions. The concessions were fresh. I didn't get stale popcorn. And then we sat down in a theater. There was one family at one end of the row. We were at the other end of the row. There was good distance between us. Nobody directly behind us. And there's a good distance between the aisles anyway, now that they added the new seats. And I watched Jurassic Park, the original, on the big screen for the first time in my adult life, and I heard sounds that I've never heard before. I saw like minute details that I never noticed before, and it was incredible.
How did Ruby
Amazing.
handle like all the big roars in the theater and everything?
So we watched Jurassic Park the night before at home. Ruby
Okay.
and I watched it together. She had never seen it before.
Okay, so she kind of
she-
knew.
But she's like, Dad, I want to watch this dinosaur movie. And I was like, all right, cool. Let's watch it. So when we watched it Friday night, she wasn't intimidated at all. And at one point she ran up to Skylar and she's like, Mommy, I watched a dinosaur eat a guy.
Yeah.
So, I was like, okay, she's mature, like, I mean, she's a kid, but like, it's not graphic enough that she can handle it. And the first time the fucking T-Rex roared, I thought she was going to get up and leave the theater.
She grabs your keys, walks out, starts the car her fucking self.
She started to get up for sure. But she handled it well. And, yeah, we had a great time.
Was it nice and loud?
Great. Oh man. Like, obviously I've been to IMAX. I've seen,
Sure.
Star Wars and right now they're showing 1917 in IMAX. I'm thinking about going like late tonight to watch it. Just cruise over there real quick. But it was as far as audio goes, it was the most astounding performance I've ever heard. Like, because throughout the movie, like the score, like at certain moments the score is very noticeable, but like through the rank and file, or for just like the rest of the movie, like you don't notice it as much because it's so subtle. You hear it the entire movie.
Amazing, because
It's
it's
great,
there.
it's
It's
great,
actually
yes.
there. It's just
Yeah.
cranked up to a level. A lot of times it's really strange because with anytime I've had any kind of a home theater system, there are always two movies I will put on to test like its quality, and that's Twister and Jurassic Park for very specific reasons. And I do remember seeing Jurassic Park in theaters as a kid for the first time,
Mhm.
and let me tell you that fucking 6.5 probably year old me seeing these dinosaurs, and especially more than anything when the kids are in the
kitchen?
situation with the Jeep. No. The T-Rex and the
Oh,
Jeep, like the whole thing, the
yeah.
goat dropping on him, it pressing into the fucking actual Jeep and like crushing on her, terrified me as a kid. And especially, like I think we talked about this last week on 307. Lorraine did not have any cheap sound system to blow your nose at. It had IMAX before IMAX, seventh loudest in the world at the time.
It was loud. As I said, I was the Maxwell CD guy. 1993. That scared the shit out of me when he roared.
Yes, it absolutely terrified me.
Like, I was excited to see the movie, and then after we went home from the movie, I was just like, but what if they can bring dinosaurs back?
And what if they fucking find me right now and flip my car over and attack
Dude, it was great,
specifically
though.
me and no one else?
I'm glad you got to see it because the last 2 years I've gotten to see 1989 Batman and Back to the Future at that same theater, and they were just awesome moments. The reason why I asked about the sound is that they were older movies, at least those two were there in the 80s. And so the sound was a little bit quieter than what I expected. And we were next to a theater that was showing, I think Batman was the newest Transformers movie at the time.
Bumblebee?
No, the one before that.
Dark of the Moon?
No, it was
Revenge of the Fallen.
That was 2.
No, it was the
Dark of the Moon was 3.
The Last Night or something like that.
Last Night, yep.
With the dinosaurs.
Yeah. All right, so they were in the theater next door to us, and they were loud, as in like Batman 89 gets quiet,
Right.
in some scenes, and we could hear.
You're like, I don't remember these robot fucking noises.
Well, it was rumbling,
Batman.
and it was just like a little distracting. But I'm glad to hear that the sound was damn good and on point, because that was like, when I go back to see old movies in theaters, now that I've had that experience, I kind of expect that. It's still awesome to be able to say I got to see Batman and Back to the Future in the theater setting, because that was before our time. I mean, I could have seen Batman 89 in theaters if my parents would have taken me, but I would have been too young to remember it.
Or really enjoy it.
Yes. Thankfully, I was old enough for Jurassic Park, and that is, getting to see Jurassic Park, getting to see Batman Forever in that same theater. I was just talking to a friend. We were talking about Pokemon, and like I got to see the Pokemon movie at that theater as well. I'm like, man, I forgot I even saw that. But
yeah, I remember seeing that. But yeah, I was actually, you were talking about movies being quiet. I was surprised at how loud it was.
That's good.
Like it's probably the loudest movie that I've ever seen in theaters.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Crank that shit, dude.
If you can, see Twister, bro.
11.
Yeah, Twister's loud
and
too.
that's the thing. I really hope, with the stuff that I've got planned in my personal life, may or may not involve a movie theater. But the lineup yesterday for other showtimes were, you could see Jurassic Park, Jaws, and Jaws was I almost said, fuck Jurassic Park.
It's Shark Week.
Let's go see Jaws because it's Shark Week, but it's also the original Jaws movie is one of my favorite movies of all time. But there was obviously some kids movies there too. The new Trolls, Despicable Me, Shrek. But yeah, it's hard to articulate how awesome seeing that movie was yesterday, and it's my first fixin' of movie theater popcorn for almost 6 months now. So,
Man, big
definitely
vibes.
satisfied. Yep.
Dude, that's awesome. I'm not gonna lie. When I saw that text, I was like, that's insane that movie theaters are open. But I hope, and as you just explained to me, they seem to be having better practices than a lot of places I'm seeing. I'm starting to have trouble, and here we are talking about the real world a little bit on the show as we've been known to do lately. But I'm having trouble holding my tongue in public now when I see people blatantly not wearing a mask, and it looks like they don't seem to be unhealthy or anything. And it's like, you have 2 bags of groceries. You couldn't come in this fucking store for 2 bags worth of groceries and wear a mask just to make sure that you're keeping everyone else around you safe. Come the fuck on, So when I go to the store, it's a different vibe. So when you said movie theater, my first thought was the same kind of people not adhering to rules. But it seems like if you're taking the risk enough to go to the theater, that you're going to protect yourselves, as well as the theaters making sure people are protected by how they're enacting social distancing.
And the movie theater said, we ask you wear a mask. We can't make you wear a mask. Ruby and Skylar and I all did. There were people there that didn't wear a mask. But everyone it was distanced well. So I didn't feel uncomfortable, but I told Ruby, because Ruby was excited, and obviously, I made the decision with Skylar. I didn't just say, fuck it, we're going to the movie today. Get my Mountain Dew. But, we talked that we would do a drive-by of the theater, and if there was a shit ton of people, then we wouldn't go. And, you pull up to the theater, and that theater's so big now.
You got the 2 parkings on each side, yeah.
Yep, you got park on each side, and you got parking right in front of the theater, too. For that 6 or 8 cars, whatever can fit right there. And really there was I'm going to say 15 vehicles total. So maybe
spread between all the theaters. That's very small possibility.
Spread between all the theaters. So realistically, I think we had the most people out of everybody. I only think there was 2 families that went to 1917 at that time. But there was probably 35 people in the theater that I was in, maybe. And it was, normally if the theater is not full, people aren't dispersed. They all pack into the middle, those middle 3 or 4 rows, and everybody's sitting on top of each other. everyone was spread out. People were sitting in the love seats where they normally wouldn't sit. But, I was telling Skylar, like, that would be the perfect place to sit right now because there is no one immediately to the left or right of you. So, yeah, it was great.
Yeah, they have rules now.
I would go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, they have rules.
I would say that if it's AMC or whatever theater, as long as they handle it the way that Goodrich handled it yesterday, and you don't allow 1,000 people to come in the theater at the same time, I would feel comfortable going to any theater in the U.S.
So, like I was saying, Goodrich, they have a 3-seat minimum between groups. So, like, if you're in a row and you got you and your wife or girlfriend or family or whatever, then there's going to be 3 seats, and then there's the next people. So there's going to be some distancing between people. They ask you to wear a mask in all the common areas, so concessions, bathroom, and stuff like that. And it's a shame that they can't make you as a business.
Yeah.
I wish that they could, because it's like, I understand that, I understand freedoms, but I don't see this as like a personal choice. I see this as a health choice.
Correct.
That they're choosing to make other people unhealthy, by basically saying, I could be sick and I'm going to breathe all this stuff in front of you. Whereas, like, people confuse it and think that they're protecting themselves. Like, I don't need to protect myself. No, you need to protect other people. And that's the way it is. But I'm not sure if there is a movie that would drive me back right now, because I know for a fact the wife isn't going to want to go. She's not going to want to take the kids, so it's just going to be me. It's a little bit different for a certain situation that may or may not be coming up. But when I'm just going out to the theater by myself to see a movie, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, because I feel every time I leave and go out, there are people that I can trust to be safe, people I know. But then I'm having issues trusting other people to be safe.
Yes,
and that's the big deal, and the crux of the issue.
That's the biggest issue.
And what is my responsibility? My responsibility is to keep myself healthy,
so that your family stays healthy.
Oh yes, so that my family stays healthy. Is that none of them get it, but even to the point of, normally I would be like, if I get it, I don't care as long as they don't. If I get it, we are screwed, because I can't work. That means there's no money. And that means we can't pay our bills. And I can't go back to work until I have a negative test. And that could take, a couple weeks. And that's paycheck gone.
And that's just if you get mild symptoms and it doesn't fucking wreck you and have a whole life change.
Yes,
man.
and have a hospital stay and a coma.
Yeah.
And, I hope that's not the case. For 40% of Americans, that is, it's asymptomatic completely, almost. And I hope that is the case. But I'm not willing to take that risk, because either way, I'm endangering my family, either their health and their safety as one, but also just their very well-being and keeping them fed and keeping them safe, have a roof over their head and all that shit. It's like I have too much of a responsibility for that, and so just on that, I'm the kind of guy that I've never lived that close to a theater to be able to just want to go. And I've only ever gone to the theater once by myself in my entire life, and it was to see Deadpool after I worked a Saturday or whatever. And actually, no, I went and saw Endgame by myself the first time. We couldn't guarantee a babysitter, so I went and saw it by myself because I wasn't going to wait. And the theater was packed, so I had to sit next to somebody I didn't even know, and listen to him.
Oh God.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Oh.
Anyway, guys, today here on the show, we'll just move this show move it right along to the next segmento. We are reviewing a book. We talked about it last week, and we announced it. I think it was towards the end of the episode. So if you missed it, we announced, and I'm pretty sure that either the name of the episode or the description of the episode is going to give it away. If you haven't known, we're going to be reviewing Cosmic Ghost Rider. And I believe that the series is called Killing Baby Thanos, And we have each read the first 2 issues. We're going to be talking about those here momentarily. And
there is a little preamble to this, though, that we should note. The Cosmic Ghost Rider character, while he does have his own series, that's what we're reading. Where we're starting is kind of technically the middle of his story.
right.
Because from issue, I want to say it's like 11 to 17, or it's 13 to 17 somewhere. It's like a 4 or 5 issue arc in the Thanos more recent books. He has a role that lasts like a first appearance. You know, there's a reveal of who is actually the Cosmic Ghost Rider, and then a quote unquote death of the Ghost Rider that sets up this next thing. And then, of course, in the Thanos annual #1, it's revealed that our Cosmic Ghost Rider did not perish, or he did, but was resurrected. And then that leaves us to where we are now, coming into this first book, Cosmic Ghost Rider #1. And let me just say, Tyler, for your first official pick as a JIC host, what a fucking banger, bro. I read this late last night. Was not expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. Not to say I wasn't going to enjoy it. I just didn't know where it was going to fall. Sometimes these odd side stories of good characters can just be okay and not amazing. And this had elements of everything to make for an amazing story, and I can't wait to see where it goes. What are your guys' thoughts?
Well, we did the big C2E2 trip earlier this year, thankfully, right before coronavirus, tried to end the world.
That was like as the garage door is closing and you slide under last fucking second to get in the house. You're like, yeah, I'm a badass.
Yeah. So, you hop over the sensor, but somehow you still slide under the door, because otherwise it's just going to go back
up. Unless it's jerry rigged like mine, but I digress. Anyways.
There you go. But, we were perusing the halls of C2E2, and it's like, man, I gotta, this issue's dope. This issue's dope. You and I, especially the last day that we were there, as we walked around the floor, we're like, we were discussing series that we could eventually review, like in the future. Because in the past we've talked about us doing the Hulk series from a couple years ago, and there's obviously Absolute Maximum Carnage,
Venom stories,
like there's so many that we have thrown around, and we were kind of walking around, and I didn't find out about Cosmic Ghost Rider until here, not recently, but like in the near future or the near past or recent.
I got you. I knew what you
know what
I'm
trying. You're vibing.
Past few months, he learned of this character.
Well, past few years is what I was trying to say.
Yes,
I just couldn't articulate it. But when I heard when you take the combination of the Punisher, who is one of my favorite characters in the Marvel Universe, and the Ghost Rider, and you grab them and you mash them together, and then just to add a little bit more, you fucking Salt Bay space into it, and it's like, okay, I'm sold. I have to know more about this character. Like just looking at the covers of this run, it's like, why would I not want to at least give this a shot? And I'll be honest with you, when I started reading, I read the first issue a couple of days ago, and then I read the second one this morning. When I started reading the first issue the other night, I actually thought, man, I really hope this doesn't suck. Because like the first couple pages, and you're seeing some of them if you're watching the video as it scrolls through we've got like a nice little slideshow.
Thanks, Brando. You're the best.
As you would call it. Yes. Podmaster coming through as always. But the first couple panels are incredible, and then it starts to get to the story, and I was like, oh my God, this is awesome.
Yeah, the whole him in Asgard.
Yes.
Or Valhalla, I guess. Yeah, the actual Valhalla.
Mm-hmm.
He's in like a form of heaven. Now, I will say, I was a little taken aback by just like how over the top, just the way that the book is told. Like it's almost comedic in itself.
Mm-hmm. It's very. It made me feel. Did you ever watch Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance?
And that was
The
the second
second
one.
Nick Cage,
The second
yeah.
one with Nick Cage.
Yeah.
How weird and eccentric he played that character. That's what this is, a better version of what Nick Cage tried to do with that. I felt like anyway.
It's very interesting because like I was completely I don't necessarily follow comics along very closely, but I had no idea that this even existed before you said Cosmic Ghost Rider. I'm like, oh, okay, what's that? And I'm like, wait, Frank Castle, Punisher, Ghost Rider, what? And like in the slideshow, it's just a few, it's like the first few pages of basically it catches you up to speed on who the character is, his past, what happened to him, where he's been, what he's done, and he's been through the like the gamut, and then some. But I do want to say that like I do want to actually state for the fact that because I don't think we've actually stated it, because the actual title of the series is Baby Thanos Must Die, not killing Baby Thanos. That sounds like a Shakespeare thing. It was written by Donny Cates, and artist was Dylan Burnett, color artist Antonio Fabella, and the cover art's done by Jeff Shaw and Antonio Fabella. So I definitely want to give shout outs whenever we do this, just give shout outs to the actual guys that did the work on this, because the art on this is absolutely amazing. As you said, dude, the cover art is completely out there and wild. And it
very vibrant.
It's very vibrant. And I love the mix mash of the design of the character that that melds in the Ghost Rider with the Punisher look. I think it's badass because I love how he has the chain wrapped around him. I love how he has the skull in the middle still, but it's a different one. I like how he has that like little helmet on the skull, so it's like it's not just burning flames and they're like encapsulated in there. It's a different look entirely.
Well, he's in space. If
exactly,
he's
in space.
Yeah. It makes sense. It's actually like science.
Absolutely, but I was into this from the get go, and he's like hanging out in Valhalla because he died, but then he was saved by Odin, and then he's just unhappy here. Frank Castle's design at this point looks not exactly what I saw him. I'm like, is that him?
Yeah.
He has that long white hair. He's old, but I love the way that him as Frank is written, because I feel like if you wrote Frank this way early on in his life, it wouldn't work. But him as a grumbly old man, been through the mud, been through everything that he's been through, he's written, and it's so entertaining to read him and his interactions.
Oh, I love it. And we start off with a fight in the bar in Valhalla with Frank, and a character we learn about later through some dialogue of Odin, which that's when I started to really fall in love with the series, is the interaction with Odin and Castle in the early middle part of this book. Castle having a drink by himself, doing his thing. Odin comes up and is like, what are you doing? Like, how could you attacked Koldax the grave, and he's like, yeah, he fucking kills kids. And he's like, no, they were from Jotunheim. They were baby frost giants. Like, he wasn't really killing kids. And he's like, well, I couldn't kill him anyways. You can't really kill anyone here. So I took his nose. And then he says, you take a man's nose, it'll make him think, though. He's like, I love just that little dialogue and the simpleness and the beats of, like Brando said, Frank's not taking himself so seriously now. There's not as much presence of danger or care because he has literally done it all. He became a servant to Thanos. I mean, the Frank Castle story is immense. So when we find him here, it's it's definitely a tonal shift for how we portray and view him, I think. Back to you guys.
Sorry, I was reading.
Oh, you was reading.
Yep.
I vibe that. No, I just briefly touching on, a little bit of the thoughts of the, art. I love the color, very vibrant story that they tell.
I'll tell you right now, every time that we've done one of these comic reviews or I don't know necessarily what we want to call
used to be
it.
called the Comic Club back
Comic
in the
Club.
day.
Good old comic club.
Every time we've done the Comic Club, I have been the fanboy, like squeeing about the art, because of especially the last couple books that we've done, the symbology and the symbolism and all the art. It's all been incredible. But I will tell you right now, the opening pages of this series of like Frank Castle's journey from Frank Castle to the Cosmic Ghost Rider
Mm-hmm.
is the most incredible thing that I have ever seen in a comic book ever.
Well, they almost all of them could be a comic book cover in themselves. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Each panel. Him staring down Galactus.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is something. Like that like that's a shot.
Oh yeah.
That is a shot. Him standing next to old man Thanos.
That'd be an awesome cover for sure.
And then of course, I believe it. The way it's said is that Thor is the one that killed him, right? That killed Frank.
I believe so.
I mean, because it shows it with
Mjolnir.
And you don't really get a good shot of him, shot of the character doing it, but he definitely smashes him. And I want to say that's what Odin says or alludes to, that Thor is the one that killed him. But one of my favorite lines in this is that because they're kind of Odin and Frank have like this back and forth about like Odin's like, you don't belong here, you're not at rest, I pulled you out of there because of who you were, and I admired your ferocity as a warrior, and and you were about vengeance, even though you ended up going the way that you did. It's like you deserve that chance. And Frank's just like, yeah, no, fuck this shit. And Odin says, your willful obstinacy reminds me of an old Midgard saying that I'm fond of. I believe it is, fuck you and the horse you rode in on. And of course, right as it says that, it's the panel showing his bike, his fucking cosmic bike, and with his chains. It's like, I don't get it. How did you? He goes, I'm Odin. If I want it, I have it. You did not deserve to be here in Valhalla. And like basically saying, go back and do your thing. You're going to be Cosmic Ghost Rider once again. It's like, I don't know, man. It's like, I wasn't offering you a choice.
You don't have a choice.
You're leaving. And then he's like, at first he's like, I don't know. Oh yeah, he's right back in it.
I really like the comedic tone, I really like the tone of this series so far through issue 1 through issue 2. It's very, very serious, and then it's almost a whimsical.
Yeah.
How comedic it is. Like in the next breath.
No, I agree.
It's about fucking time is his introduction, and and then I love it. He immediately goes into this like very epic monologue, and then to kind of skip to the more important thing, he says, I want you to, send me back to where this thing all started, where it all began, where it all went wrong. And then he says, send me to Titan. And you're just like, fuck yeah, here we go. Like the story is really kicking off. And then he is still monologuing. The question that's never been asked is, how does Thanos survive infancy to become where he becomes with all these time traveling assassins and time travel even existing in this world? How has no one ever went to kill this little baby Thanos?
War Machine
Real
wanted
quick.
to.
It didn't work out so good.
The Silver Surfer is who killed Cosmic Ghost Rider with Mjolnir.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
That's why there was no hair. It was a bald dude. Yeah, okay. All right. I can see Silver Surfer being able to pick up a Mjolnir.
I was Jamieing it.
Nice job. Thanks for being the man in the chair.
Yeah, thank you, buddy.
Do my best.
But then, my favorite thing is, he says, here's your answer to why no one has. Someone did. And then, or maybe not. And baby Thanos just goes on the attack. And he's like, what the shit is this little kid? How is he so strong? Like, how are you already like this? Let me get a good look at you. And then and this is a moment I thought was really interesting. Baby Thanos staring into the eyes of Cosmic Ghost Rider. My question is, early on, is this going to set the stage for maybe this is possibly what becomes why Thanos becomes who he becomes?
That's what I was thinking too.
Like the fire in his eyes is what changed everything, and it's super subtle and amazing. But he's like, I judged him. This kid's innocent. Damn it. That you ain't Thanos. Not yet. And he punches him. I fucking laughed so hard. I was like, oh my God, he punched baby Thanos. That's great. And then, of course, one thing that's really cool is baby Thanos, while a small-sized infant, possibly,
It's like a toddler.
can fully talk.
Yeah.
What was that? It felt odd, like, bam, then he gets knocked down or whatever. Oh, and I just threw my mouse on the ground.
God damn it, Nate.
Boom.
And the mouse is down. But yeah, so continuing on here, as we near the end of book 1, he's like, maybe the answer isn't killing this monster because maybe he doesn't have to turn into a monster. Maybe there's a different way. But then again, fuck it, only one way to find out. And that's how book 1 ends, with baby Thanos strapped to the chest of Cosmic Ghost Rider in like a chain-made car seat.
Yeah.
That's the episode title.
He's wearing
Chain-made
them.
car seat.
It's
Yep.
it's like a chain baby Bjorn.
Yep.
But yeah, first book, like I said, it sets a really nice stage. Good pace.
Absolutely. And it gets you hooked in to see what he's going to do, because you saw that even though he went back to that spot and went to go do the deed, he couldn't do it. When he saw, like, well, it's almost like they kind of did this. They kind of, in Deadpool 2, they reenacted this kind of in one of the post credits, right? Or near the end with baby Hitler.
Yep.
It's like, well, baby Hitler's not a genocidal maniac yet.
Not yet.
He's a baby. But
He's a baby.
But that brings into question, because it's like, how do you know the kid you're not raising and won't be a genocidal maniac?
And that comes back to nature or nurture.
And it's like, what would you do if you saw someone gunning for your kid with a knife to kill them, and you had no, like, he's going to grow up to kill the world? It's like, I'm not going to let you just kill my kid because of something that could happen.
Oy.
That's a very interesting, like, to pull that thought into a realistic tone, right? If that were ever to happen to somebody, that's always the big crazy what if time travel stories. But it's like, in reality, if that were to happen, there's no parent in the world that'd be like, okay, well, I guess you can just off them then. I mean,
My thing I would say one thing. There's one key to this. Show me proof. Undeniable proof that you're from the future. Undeniable proof that what you're saying is true. Undeniable in many ways. Technology is amazing. If in a few years we can time travel, I could show pictures on my phone to me in the past. Of course, then that whole time travel, you can't change your future self, can't change your past you. It doesn't work that way. And that's very sciencey.
And no spets boarding.
And no spets boarding. Change in the past doesn't change the future.
So basically, I would probably have to make that Last of Us choice, just like Joel makes. But not in the same kind of vein, but the vein of, nope, not doing it. I'll make this decision every single day, and I will kill that person who came back to kill my kid.
I'll murder every fucking time traveler that comes in my fucking castle that I've created here.
Yeah.
Or any doctor who is trying to create a cure with Ellie. Anyways, What did you guys rate this first book out of 5? I think it's like a 3.5, 3.25, kind of in that range.
It's a
It
good
sets
start.
a great stage,
Mhm.
but it isn't the beef of the story that really drove me. I think when we get into book 2, we're going to be talking a lot about what made this a really great take. But yeah,
no.
for me,
I'd say
3.5.
3. I'd say 3 for me.
I'm gonna go on the high side, and I'm gonna say 3.5, just
Okay.
because, like normal with most of these first issue books that we've reviewed or discussed, you hit the nail on the head. It's not the bulk of the story. It's just there to sprinkle stuff in front of you and get you interested. The art looks incredible. I got to be that guy. And oh, hold on, I'm making a sound.
I'm making a sound, he says.
Oh man.
I have
Please.
returned from silencing the sound. Had an alarm set on my phone that I did not know about.
Goddamn sounds.
God, I am an awful podcaster.
You're doing
Dude,
great. You're doing just fine.
Dude, there's a podcast I listen to all the time where the guy's alarm goes off and the dude just yells back and goes, "Bruce, take your damn pills!" Like it's just.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it's all around. It's solid. The art is very pretty. It's a take on a character that we're not used to getting. I thought the same thing that Brandon did when I saw Frank Castle for the first time in this book. Like, why is he old and why does he have white hair? Why does he have long white hair? So 3.5 all day for me.
So moving on now to issue number 2.
Cosmic Shark Week.
Badass cover with that shark.
Cosmic Shark Week. I'm just saying.
I bought this. I physically bought this book at C2E2 when Nate and I were cruising around, and I spent, like, Nate was off looking at Pops, Buckles was off looking at other stuff, and I spent like a good 25 minutes going from booth to booth trying to find a variant cover of this issue, and I couldn't find one.
Well, my sympathies for your hunt. Hopefully, it'll be more fruitful in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But what I really liked was the little recap that they did at the beginning here. Frank Castle was a decorated Marine, upstanding citizen, and when his family was killed in a mob hit, from that day he was a force of retribution in life and in his roles after death, as Ghost Rider, as Herald of Galactus, as Thanos' right-hand man. Then Frank died for real, but he was unable to rest in Valhalla, knowing that there was justice left to serve against the worst of the worst, Thanos himself. Traveling back in time, Frank Castle prepared to kill baby Thanos in his crib, but he just couldn't do it.
Awesome. Swish.
Mm-hmm.
I love the recap. As we jump into this first book, we're on some planet. We don't really know what planet. It's definitely alien. You slowly. I love that it goes like from outer city view to you're kind of seeing this storefront from a distance to up closer, and you're kind of seeing people perusing around, and you notice Ghost Rider's, Cosmic Ghost Rider's bike, and then you see him at the bar, bartender, another round. And then he says, "Yeah, just put it on my tab," because in his dialogue, he's talking about how this planet he's gone to only has about a half hour left before it's going to get destroyed, because one of Cosmic Ghost Rider's friends told him that this planet existed and that it was going to soon be destroyed. So that's where he went in time. And I love that. I love that sets the stage for he has a plan at least.
I'm loving how he's sitting at the bar. And he's with baby Thanos, who also has a beer or some alcoholic beverage. And then he has him on like a leash, like we have like our kids on sometimes when we're out, so that way they don't run off and go away from us. And little baby Thanos, and that guy's like, "Hey, you can't be serving kids no drinks." He's like, "Ah." I love Frank's reaction. Like, I'm getting my manager. Give an army. See if I give a fuck.
Yeah, he's like, trying to let them know, like, he really doesn't care. I love the subtle little dialogue of like Thanos learning stuff, like what's a serial killer?
Yeah.
And then he's like, probably not a good reference.
What's
You're
a mass
more like
murder?
a mass murdering space dictator, I guess. He's like, what's a mass all right, drink your drink. He's just trying to kind of brush him off a little bit. And then again, we have baby Thanos going on the attack, and tries to take out the guy who's kind of the barkeep dude.
Notice that he does it in defense of Frank too.
Mm-hmm.
Like the guy grabs Frank, and Thanos like jumps him with the broken bottle.
that image to me is so comical.
the whole jerk back, because I'm sure we've all done that with our kid. Like, like, it's like I'm really trying hard to rehabilitate this kid, and I'd really rather not murder all of you in front of him if I could possibly help it.
And then I love baby Thanos' response. Why couldn't I do a murder? Aren't they all gonna die anyways?
I mean, yes.
Here we go. Baby Thanos already starting to feel dark, and have this question of like, why couldn't I just kill these people? They were gonna die anyways.
And again, that kind of lets you on, like, that's your second little hint that he's teaching Thanos about life and death and killing and all that. And so you're like, Frank, you did this.
Mm-hmm. Like, you can feel it right now. Like,
yeah.
There's a reason this story was written from this perspective.
I know. It's like, he would have been fine if you would have left him in his crib.
Yep.
He probably would have been like an Uber driver for a while, went and found himself in college, experimented a little bit, came out of it, got a job as a janitor at a high school for a little bit too, and trying to find, because he went to school, got lied to about getting a degree, and that degrees will get you, good jobs. So now he's waiting for a job for the degree he spent all that time going to school for. But now he's working as a custodian at the high school.
At the local high school.
And then he finally gets a job, but he's still paying so much money in like student loans every week that like the money that he is making, like he lives in a 1-bedroom apartment, and has no furniture. He got crates and like the big telephone wire spool for a coffee table.
But unfortunately, he does have a roommate called Dale, and we're not really sure why.
Yeah.
Him and Dale living in a 1-bedroom apartment.
Thanos and Dale.
That would have happened if Frank had not come back in time.
Damn it, Frank Castle. You ruin everything.
Oh, man.
And I love that the guy in the barkeep is like, why do you keep saying we're all going to die?
Well, let me tell you. Look outside.
He's like, I keep telling you, man, I'm here to see a friend, and you see the friend is Galactus.
Big spooky cosmic man.
Yeah. Can I
Shooting
just say
lightning out of his eyeballs?
Can I just say Galactus has always kind of freaked me out. How like he looks like a really tall human.
Yeah.
And it's not what I imagine when I think of a planet eater. He just looks like a dude.
He's just a dude.
Well, all I can say is when I imagine a planet eater, I don't envision whatever the fuck was in Rise of Silver Surfer. Just saying.
I've always pictured Thanos as a big man, like Brandon said, but like all the planets that he eats, I imagine they're just like a cheese puff. like instead of doing what he's doing here, he just like
Galactus eating cheese puffs.
Just eating cheese puffs, man.
So Frank flies up there to see him, and baby Thanos is like, "What's the Purple Man doing?" "Oh, he's about to devour this whole world. It's his thing." "And will you stop him?" "Oh, no way." but now they'll die with hope because he told them that he was going to go talk to him, try to stop him. And Thanos says, fun.
Yep. And then I love how friendly Frank immediately is with Galactus. He's like, Gallon, what's up, bro? Like,
Yeah, I like how he keeps calling him Gallon.
Hey, it's
Hey,
Frank. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I need a minute.
I love how he's baby wearing Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
It is literally a carrier that he's made out of his chains. He's like, hey, check it out. I got a little situation here I could use some help with. He's like,
pointing at the child on his chest, like, what do I do? Do you see who it is?
and
Look
then
what I have.
And then giant space sharks or whatever.
Star sharks.
Star sharks.
Cosmic Shark Week.
And Thanos is like, fishies. And he's like, oh, yeah, the swarm of star sharks. You want some help? Galactus requires no assistance.
Be gone.
He
That's
just
a
like
pretty cool
obliterates
image.
these freaking sharks. And Thanos is like, again.
Even Ghost Rider's kind of like
Hey.
bemused by it. He's like, oh, that was kind of awesome. Fuck yeah.
Again,
And the people on the planet are like, he saved us. Oh my God.
Again, I'm liking how this goes. It keeps diving in and out of like super serious to like completely ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. So, hey, anyway, I was going to ask you about Galactus has had enough, and he just tries to cosmic power, like, immolate Ghost Rider and Thanos. And like, I really like in this instance, I would expect Cosmic Ghost Rider to take it, but baby Thanos takes, like, the full brunt of fucking Galactus's power.
Yeah,
Just takes it.
as a fucking baby.
Yep.
That means he's a powerful motherfucker.
The next image is my favorite image I've ever seen in any comic book ever.
Okay.
The next page.
The one sheet that's all of Galactus reading into the journey of Frank Castle and being like, oh my God.
That's a bad, like, you know, I unfortunately don't have that. I don't for the slides. I'm only doing the first a couple pages for each one, you know, just to show you
Sure.
guys the art and because I mean because we're reviewing the book, we're not like I don't want to show the entire book. I want people to go out and get it.
Bro, you seen some shit.
Man, yeah, that's exactly kind of what he says. It's like, Frank, Gallon, it's me. I was
He's like, I was not expecting.
I saw so much. We will be friends, allies. Yeah, right, yeah. And then you joined this mad titan. Well, yeah, but look, I had a plan. It didn't really go the way I wanted it to go.
I did have a plan.
Yeah. I didn't know how to not be that thing he made me, you know? And then what I'm liking is that, like, you know, Galactus is like, all right, you know, well, now that I know you and we did this thing and what, I'll kill the baby. It's like,
Yeah,
well, hold
just
on a
give it to
second. Hold on a second.
Ghost Rider's doing the Willie Mays right now. But wait, there's more.
Yeah, he's like, you know what, buddy? I love that. I've had enough. I've had enough big purple dudes ordering me around. If you want the kid, you got to go Sky Baby. Sky Baby.
And then the fucking Watcher shows up.
That panel is amazing. Almost could have been this cover.
Yeah.
Honestly, the cover, but it's cool too because then you don't get to reveal the Watchers in it. It's like kind of a nice surprise. Oh, the Watchers here. Sky Baby. See Gallon Uatu only shows up when Great Change is going to work. I'm going to turn this around and then I love it. Incorrect.
Incorrect.
You are attempting. Go ahead.
You are attempting to change a universal constant, Francis Castle, like trying to leash the Phoenix or stop the march of time. The child's path is immutable. Thanos has been chosen by an undefeated opponent. Well then, if it's so damn impossible, why did you come here, you damn ghoul? I have come to witness the worst choice that any living being has ever made in the history of thought and the immediate consequence thereof.
He's like, yeah, okay. You know what? I'm sick of all this. I'm going to raise this kid myself, and both of you big-headed fucks can go fuck yourself.
And there it is.
I love it. Because, again, that is saying exactly what we've been saying. It's like, yep, yeah, okay, yep.
What's that supposed to mean?
You sincerely do not see how
Yeah,
this
go
is a
ahead,
bad
Brandon.
idea. Well, I
No,
don't see how. I see no immediate consequences.
He's like, see, there's nothing happening right now. It's good.
Man, I love it. I love again the writing of this, because there's that balance of like really serious watchers coming in and being super serious with him, and the way he's reacting is just hilarious. Again, I really like the way that they write Frank as this kind of old grizzled mouthy dude
That's lost his mind.
Yes.
Francis, by making this choice, you've just created a timeline in which the Punisher raised Thanos as a child. And his his response
So?
is, okay, so.
Okay, so.
Oh, good.
The watcher's response. Watch this. Boom! Huge explosion happens, and Frank is down on the ground looking like he is a Portland protester. Frank Castle, Punisher, the writer, whatever. Step away from the baby. He's like, who the hell are you? And this marked me out. 2 in the morning when I read this. My name is Nathan Summers. I'm from the future. And we're the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. This could have been the cover,
Full
too,
nerd boner. Yeah, but that would have spoiled the cool reveal.
Oh, man.
I know.
No, like that.
It's
Yeah,
just
no.
dope.
Yeah, that marked me out too when I read this morning. I was not expecting. I'm like, oh shit. It got a double oh shit from me because like number one, there's freaking Cable, and number two, they're the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
And then, so what members are we looking at here, Nate?
Okay, so I'm about to pull that up because
It looks like Howard the Duck has become the Juggernaut.
See, that's what I thought too. That's what I thought too.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up an actual
And is that Jubilee?
I think it's also Jubilee. You've got a Groot Rocket hybrid. Looks like Rocket has a Groot suit on.
Yeah.
And then Kamala Khan as what could be Captain of Marvel America or Miss America Marvel or something. I'm not sure what exactly they call her.
One of
I'm looking up
those?
an exact name.
One
of them.
Doesn't that symbol on the Groot Rocket hybrid look like the Nova symbol?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
So here's exactly who appears in the Guardians of the Galaxy's first appearance of Cosmic Ghost Rider. You have Cable, Nathan Summers, Juggerduck.
Juggerduck.
Yes.
I love it.
Wait a minute. Wait, click on Juggerduck, please.
Sure. Juggerduck.
Is Juggerduck Howard the Duck Juggernaut?
No, his name is Howard Duckson. He's from Earth 18138. He is a Duck Worldlian who is currently single. He's an adventurer and a rebel.
Okay.
And it says this. Howard's body, like those of his entire race, has similar characteristics of both common Earth ducks and common Earth human beings. He has hands instead of and arms instead of wings, is covered with feathers, and is unable to fly.
But
nothing
that you've said has disproven the fact that this is Howard the Duck as Juggernaut.
I'm about to confirm it because here's the actual history. Juggernaut seemingly shared a similar history with mainstream counterpart. After being raised by the writer, Thanos took over Earth and became a dictator to bring about good, but forced those who resisted him into ghettos. During this time, Juggerduck became an avatar for the demon Cytorax to prevent the dystopia from happening. Juggerduck joined Cable's Guardians to travel back in time and kill Thanos. However, Juggerduck, along with the rest of the team, except Cable, were wiped out by Galactus. So I don't know if that's future tripping or not, but that's a little brief on Juggerduck.
We need Juggerduck in Guardians Volume 3.
Sure, I love
What
it.
you're telling me.
Like
Captain Marvel is officially Captain Marvel in that.
Okay.
Iron Groot is what they call him,
Iron Groot.
which is Rocket Raccoon.
Okay.
And then
See, yeah, it almost
Jubilee-
looked like the Iron Man stance with the thing in his hand. So,
And yeah,
I'm intimidated by Juggerduck. I gotta be honest.
he's the bomb. I'm loving it.
I am digging Juggerduck so much.
I'm really interested to see why the hell Jubilee's here.
You saying?
She's a Guardian now, bro. She left the X-Mans.
The X-Mans.
The X-Mans.
Yeah, she left them their X-Mans.
See, I thought that this book, all in all, I thought this book was like a solid 4, you guys.
Oh, same.
Honestly,
Yeah.
it
was
hooked
great.
me. It had great moments.
Great
The
reveals. Great
Again
writing.
was amazing. Yes. Like you got the Watcher in this, you got Galactus in this, you got a new form of the Guardians in this, plus Frank and a hilarious baby Thanos who I'm learning to love even more. Like great writing. I'm all about this, and I can't wait to see where we come and where we end up on the other side of these books, because I did not read on as much as I wanted to.
Did you flip forward to look at the cover for next week?
Yes.
That is one of the coolest covers ever.
Yeah.
Juggerduck's bringing it, man.
And he don't give a jugger fuck.
God damn it. Why don't we just call this episode Juggerduck?
Oh man. He is I think he's the unsung hero of this story. I mean, he has to
agree.
Be. He's got us marking out. Very interested.
100% marking out.
You know, we need to tweet and at James Gunn. Look, pal, you haven't started Guardians 3 yet, and I'm not, and I know I'm not the guy that's going to sit here and tell you what to do.
Even if you have started Guardians 3.
Even if you have started, but you know, there is time and place in your movie for Juggerduck.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Become a new fan favorite, I'm telling you.
And the fact is, his name is Howard Duckson, which is he's got to be Howard the Duck. I'm just saying.
I'm about it. So I fucked up and accidentally scrolled forward to the end of the next book. Whoops.
Don't do that.
I didn't mean to. And let me just say, I really can't wait to talk about the end of issue 3 now that I've seen the end, even though I don't know the story or how we get there.
Well, we'll be talking about that next week. We're talking about books 2 and 4 next week. We got to figure out our record schedule.
Not 2 and 4.
I meant 3 and 4.
2 and 4 would be very confusing.
Yeah, let's read this issue again and skip the next one and go to issue 4.
Oh, damn it.
We're gonna Quentin Tarantino this thing up, but yeah, we got to figure out our record schedule for the next week because I don't want to skip and have to, because we're only gonna review books really when we're all 3 together. So if we have to do an episode where it's only gonna be 2 of us, we're not gonna review a book that week. But I really want to try and make it possible for if we're reviewing something, let's try and make it work and schedule it out.
I'm all about it. What are your guys' reviews officially on this book 2?
4.
And, yeah, no, it gets a straight up 4 from me as well.
4 to the floor.
It almost gets a 4.5 just because of Juggerduck.
Ooh, Juggerduck pushed it up almost halvesy.
Dude, Juggerduck's where it's at.
You got a half chub for Juggerduck. That's hard to say. Half chub for Juggerduck might be the episode title. Oh, that's good. Because that adds Tyler's idea of having it as Juggerduck and then plus half chub. Okay.
All right. So yeah, that ends the review segment of the show.
I'm gonna throw a little news bit your guys' way and then go Daenerys Palin myself for all 35 seconds.
Now, shit, that is an old callback right there.
Hell yeah. But I don't know if you guys saw this, and please riff on it while I'm gone for the few minutes and I'll join back in. But apparently there have been talks, are being talks, will continue to be talks. We might get the X-Men animated series with original cast in a new limited series.
Yes.
So, yes, please discuss. I'm going to take a quick Daenerys Palin.
I see no negatives in this.
I don't either, at all.
Like the fact that they are in discussions to make this happen is
Coffee. Shouldn't have drank all that coffee.
Nate and his damn coffee.
Mm-hmm.
But no, the fact that they are in discussion for this to possibly do this, you know, with the Disney acquisition, with Disney Plus being the best way for this to be released. I mean, the fact that they, when they put that up there, was that up there right at launch or was it right after?
Right after, I believe.
Yeah, because it wasn't, because I remember watching Spider-Man, the old Spider-Man cartoon. I was watching on there when they launched it, and because they had that, and they had Spider-Man Unlimited, they had some of that other stuff.
Yeah.
But X-Men, the original X-Men series, was a huge hit into part of my childhood.
Absolutely.
The idea that they're coming back or talking about coming back to do some more stuff, and you think about it, that was in like what, 92, 93, something like that.
Yeah, because the series ended in 94, right?
Yeah. So and they I want to say the show only went like 60 to 70 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had Spider-Man start up, but you also had like Iron Man had a series at that time that kind of bled in. I think they might have done a Fantastic Four series. I'm not. If I'm maybe I misremember that. I think there was a Hulk series that didn't do as good, but X-Men, nothing will ever. That I may be biased in this. I think the X-Men intro theme is one of the best cartoon intro themes of all time.
Absolutely.
That instrumental. Oh man. When I hear covers of that, like hear metal covers of that, like I think Power Glove has done one, and so a few other people have done it. Yeah, that gets me going. But
actually, the X-Men animated series went 92 to 97.
I went longer than I thought then.
Yeah, I thought it was done in 94, but I'm probably thinking of one of the Spider-Man series.
Yeah, because Spider-Man started in like 94, 95, and it went almost the same amount of episodes. Maybe it's like 50. But I mean, there was some cool stuff that happened in those, and I read an interview recently where they were talking about how like when they killed Morph originally, I mean, it was Changeling, and but they couldn't use lawyers advised them to change the name because in the 80s in Teen Titans, Beast Boy went by the code name Changeling. Marvel had done it first, but then DC had just recently done it. So they advised Marvel, or for the cartoon, not to do it, and so they just changed the guy's name to Morph. And but he died in the first episode, second episode, really early on for the X-Men. Nate, quit dancing and get over here.
Said, quit dancing, get over here. Shit got serious while you were taking a piss. Maybe go figure. Yes, I've revived.
I do believe that it was either on the air or off the air last week that I shared this joke that my dad told me once about eating chicken, about how he could eat chicken and have it come out sounding like a duck.
Yep.
And so just imagine eating chicken and having that sound like a Juggerduck. Imagine.
Oh, shit.
It's like one of those farts that kind of surprises you and lifts you off the ground a little bit. Like, whoa. You're just walking along and all of a sudden you're on your tippy toes. Like, dude, I about broke gravity there.
Goodness.
Nate, what do you feel about that news that you told us to talk about?
1, burn my finger. B.
First of all, nuggies.
Yeah. Second of all, I love the idea that they want to bring this back in some capacity. I appreciate the concept that they want to do it in a limited thing and not push the issue of like, we need to revitalize it and do 1,000 stories. You don't need to. You could do a few stories that are really, really poignant. And Tyler's elevatoring us right now. If you're watching, he's going down. My hope is that they, obviously up the animation just a little bit. It doesn't have to be completely reinventing the wheel. Just polish it a little bit. Obviously, make it nicer because
Well,
you're
just
in the
like they
modern
do
time.
with like some of the Batman animated series
Yeah.
stuff. Stuff that still takes place in the Timverse, still has the overall feel and aesthetic. And Nate, for a second there, I thought you were gonna bust straight in. You said Tyler was going down. I thought you were gonna bust into like a Nelly or something.
No.
Down,
No.
baby.
Anyways,
Takes me back to middle school there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. Did you guys hear about these crazy things that happened at Warner Media?
Yep. Yeah.
By chance,
the big executive shakeups.
A couple different executives got axed that are tied directly to a couple projects that we love here on this network.
Yeah.
Now you had the what's his name? Bob Greenblatt was fired. He was actually the head of HBO Max and one of the people that was a major executive there. With Greenblatt
really pushing for the Snyder Cut with that.
He was one of the biggest champions of having the Snyder Cut happen. Also, Kevin Riley, who helps run TNT, TBS, and True TV, was axed. He was a huge champion for All Elite Wrestling.
AEW, yeah.
So this is a very strange, interesting shakeup. A lot of it having to do with, consolidating roles within the company. Now that Time and Warner are one, they've got to get rid of some people. The only hope is the people that are coming in to replace these people or the people that already are going to be champions of these things, and not people that go, why are we giving Zack Snyder $30 million to finish a movie that already came out that no one gives a fuck about, according to them, not us.
Sure, no, just business suits, right?
Man, speaking of that, did you guys see the Snyder Cuts version of Steppenwolf?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Evil looking, brutal looking, not
the
this
way that it should look.
Shiny looking Valhalla motherfucker. Because that's kind of Steppenwolf's vibe in the Whedon cut, is that he's kind of Valhalla Asgardian-esque. Mythical is the word I was looking for. Don't know why I couldn't find it.
He's knockoff Thor.
Yeah, sure. I'm into that. As far as other headlining stuff is concerned, you brought up the Steppenwolf thing, which I love. This is a huge one that I'm surprised we've not even touched on, beat around the bush. It's going to lead into kind of what will probably be the last major topics of the day, because two video game things have been announced that is comic book related. Another thing has come out as a beta, and we're going to be here to talk about both of them. First of all, what do you guys think about Rocksteady making a Suicide Squad game? What?
I'm on board. I'm on board with
Dick's
that.
hard. Dick's out for that.
They made a good trilogy with their Batman Arkham games, and not one of those games is a bad game by any stretch of the means. So I'm excited to see what they bring to the table, because obviously with Suicide Squad you have multiple different playable characters, different ways that you can go, and of course they're hinting at you like with those crosshairs on Superman's head. Like, that's interesting.
Soups might be the main person they're going after in this game.
Well,
could be
yeah.
Superman goes crazy due to say a Lex Luthor or something. Lex Luthor. Whoa. That WCW late last night seeping in here.
The fucking total package is coming in here. Is like, now listen here, Kent Clark.
Well, I mean, if Christopher Reeves and Lex Luger really did have a one-on-one, they would be on equal playing ground. Is that terrible for me?
You can't do the torture rack on someone who's
in a wheelchair.
It doesn't hurt. It doesn't stop it. It doesn't hurt me.
But Lex is also in a wheelchair. Am I not wrong?
Oh shit! Yeah. Oh,
so they would be on literally level playing field.
He's either in a wheelchair or he's having trouble getting around. Yeah. I mean,
wheelchair fight.
Dude, Luger, he fell asleep on a plane and woke up and he was paralyzed.
Crazy. But that's a whole other.
From what I understand, it was from a lingering back injury that he didn't even aware was as bad or that bad, and he fell asleep in a certain way on the plane. He woke up and he couldn't move, and he's rehabbed and he can kind of move around now. But like it really changed his life. Like, just think about that. Like, and the next time you sit in your recliner and fall asleep, you wake up and you're not going to be able to move ever again. Yeah,
that'd be fucking awful. I'm not a fan of that. I am a fan of, however, let me tell you, we were talking a little bit about HBO Max, talking a little bit about the Suicide Squad. If you have HBO Max and you have not yet spent some adult time away from the kids to watch Harley Quinn, fucking do so. It is the most comedic, hilarious, over the top, ridiculous. They are not censored whatsoever, so they push the bounds. Cartoon. It's like Harley Quinn did a fusion dance with Metalocalypse and South Park. And it is so good and funny and clever and not what you're expecting and not boring. And, you know, the first episode really involves her realizing that the Joker has never loved her, and there's a whole plot line. All different kinds of characters involved. You have major people in the Batman mythos across all different the gallery, Rogues Gallery. This iteration's Robin is Damian, which makes for interesting storytelling. And really, Harley just wants to become a supervillain because she's always been a sidekick villain. And it's her and Poison Ivy kind of taking on the world. And it's, I mean, really, really funny and hilarious. There's an episode where they're going through and they find Suicide Squad shirts that were being unused by, I think, King Shark's roommate or something. And he's like, look at these crazy shirts. It's Ron Funches who voices King Shark, which is hilarious. Look at these crazy shirts. We should all wear these. We're like a team. So they all put them on. But what they didn't realize is that one of the villains, who is a part of the story I won't spoil, has poisoned everybody. And Harley goes into comatose about it. So they have to like go into her memories to pull her out. And Dr. Psycho's like, oh, we can do it. No problem. Well, the house they're all staying in is now for sale. They're being kicked out and evicted because King Shark is an animal and there's no pets allowed.
King Shark.
It's all about sharks this week, guys. I'm telling you. I promise. It's all going to revolve around sharks somehow, some way. But so the realtor with the guy that owns the property walk in on all of them passed out on the floor with Suicide Squad shirts on, looking dead as fuck. He's like, you guys are gonna have to come back later and to figure out what's going on. But it's, I mean, I'm 5 episodes in. They're only like 20 minutes long, and they're super funny. As soon as you put it on, you'll immediately be laughing because the ridiculousness. Some of the lines they say are so fucking real. Like this one line about Thai food. Poison Ivy's like, I'm gonna go pick up some Thai food. Just text me your order. And Harley's like, okay, I want green curry. And she's like, no, Harley, text me your order. I'll forget and I'll get you something wrong. And she's like, no, it's simple. It's just green curry. She's like, seriously, just fucking text me. I don't want it to be wrong. I'm leaving now. And she walks off. And I was like, that's every relationship ever. That's real. That's super real. Just text it to me. That way I have it in front of me. It's not that hard to remember 2 words, green curry.
That's funny.
But I'll get it wrong.
My kid is really into Teen Titans Go now.
Yes, I love that show.
And it's something that keeps his attention. My kid has he's very squirrel. As far as but he will sit there and watch Teen Titans. And there was an episode that I turned on, and they had this big DuckTales reference where they went on and they got this money, and they were doing a parody of the DuckTales theme song. Like, we're rich, woo! and they're swimming in money. And then at the end, he's like, man, what a day. It's like, yeah. Race cars, lasers, airplanes. It's kind of a dull blur. I'm like, oh my gosh. And the guy, I looked it up because my wife thought the guy that played Cyborg was Kel Mitchell.
It's not, though.
It is
right?
not. Do you know who it is?
I think it's somebody in the voice acting world that's pretty prominent. I just can't remember right off the top of my head.
Carrie Payton, and he plays King Ezekiel in The Walking Dead.
King Ezekiel, yes.
And he plays Cyborg. Yep. And I'm like, that is cool. That is awesome. That makes me like him even more. But no, like we've been watching that, just chilling out. He's kind of getting more into it.
Have you seen Teen Titans Go to the Movies?
Yes.
Dude,
I loved it.
Super clever movie.
Hilarious. Loved it. And I tried to make him watch that last year, and he had no interest in it whatsoever. And now it's not on HBO Max anymore.
Oh, what?
Yeah, no, it's not on HBO.
that's only got to be temporary. I'm sure that's probably just a deal.
Well, because we're watching HBO or Teen Titans Go on Hulu, and Go to the Movies is not anywhere right now, as far as I can find. I haven't searched all over the place, but in the few places I have searched, I haven't found it yet.
I'm gonna be Jamie right now and try to find it for you.
But no, he's super digging that. And one of the I'm not sure how much more news we have, but did you guys hear there was some narrowing down or something revealed from the new Suicide Squad movie from James Gunn? Just saying, James Gunn, if you're listening,
Juggerduck.
Hashtag Juggerduck.
Bring him to Suicide Squad.
Hashtag Juggerduck. But they may have narrowed down who Idris Elba and John Cena are playing in the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't they do that already?
There's only rumor and conjecture. There's theory, and it basically with the new information, it kind of proves the theory is right. That Idris Elba will be playing Braun Steiger,
okay.
and John Cena will be playing Peacemaker.
So that's confirming both of those officially.
It's not confirming it. It's just the other characters with things that they've said. It's kind of narrowed, or actors. It's kind of narrowed it down, like who people are going to be playing. So it's like, and I'm sure we're going to get more info probably at Fandom, which is coming up at the end of the month, right?
Yeah, 22nd. And so next, no,
week after next.
No, week after next. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But,
and I'm sure we'll be covering a lot of stuff that comes out from that. Like, as I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing some either trailers or some new stuff from Snyder Cut, and there's.
Did you see the list of people that are going to be involved with that? It was over 85 or 100 and some names.
Val Kilmer's going to be there.
Yes. Why is Val Kilmer all of a sudden showing up? Release the Schumacher cut. Forever, ever.
4-hour cut of Batman Forever. It takes forever to watch.
Batman Forever and Ever.
I mean, it would be cool to get. I will admit that I wouldn't be rushing out to see it, but I would watch it if they put it out.
I'm about it. Now, before we get out of here, the last thing I want to touch on, I spent a majority of my late evening last night staying up and doing the dishes and hanging out because of my migraine, watching gameplay footage from the Avengers beta. I've watched 3/4 of the beta be played as of this point, and holy shit. First of all, what a massive fucking beta. It's like 5 hours long.
Yeah.
And it's a beta. Okay. Just quick thoughts. I love the opening scene, which we've seen a little bit from before. Seeing that all the way play out and see how that level is built and everything was cool. I love the interactivity and being able to play between all the different Avengers in that level, so you get a taste. And then, like all great games do, once you get a taste of something that you really enjoy, they take it away from you and don't let you have those characters and don't let you have those powers because of the story. Without spoiling too much, A-Day happens, which causes a rift. One thing I kind of didn't like is that the time frame between the story, the start of the level, and then where you actually pick up and start really playing and diving in is 5 years.
Yeah.
We just did 5 years. Can't we pick a different time frame? Does it have to be 5 years on the button? Couldn't have been 3.25 years. It was just, we were rounding near 4 years, right about 4 years when shit started to get back to normal. Not, hey, the blip or the fucking snap happens, and then 5 years later, the blip. And then now in this game, this is kind of a similar thing. But level design, immersive, humongous, amazing to look at. The flow of the game seems very natural. For it being an RPG-based Avengers game, yes, I said that right. It is mainly an RPG because you're leveling and using level trees and skill points and constantly looking for, new
gear. Yeah.
Now, that's another thing I love. You're looking for new gear, and that's fun and everything. But sometimes, man, you're searching a level, and the way they make these massive levels nowadays, you feel like you spend more time looking at nothing than actually finding the cool treasure chest that has the rare, amulets of doom or whatever. But this game's really cool because Jarvis is on board with your character through the main part of the game, and you hear him say frequently, like, sensing a chest near us, or whoever you're playing as at the time, to let you know, like, hey, you're near a chest, go in this direction, follow your guts. It's really cool too because you get to play as Kamala Khan, and she's kind of the main protagonist of this story. From what I've seen so far, I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm jazzed. There's also big news on this game. Do you know the big news, Brandon? You have to know the big news. You're the game guy.
The exclusive character for the PlayStation console.
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
Fuck yeah.
I think it's pretty shitty.
Why? Why shitty for an exclusive character?
Because it's one of the most popular characters in all of Marvel. Actually, let me rephrase that. It is the most popular character in Marvel history.
So PlayStation, Sony has a lockdown on Spider-Man game properties now.
Fact.
That was a deal that was made a while back. It kind of has to do with, not entirely tied to, but with the Marvel deal, even with the movies and everything. This was kind of a kickback that Sony got to have that wasn't a movie-related thing. And I like how Tyler's just so like, fuck this, and just like, oh, there he is. Wow. My internet is a little bit unstable. And so
You had a little lag.
he went away and stayed away. And when I said that, he just popped back into the frame. And that's the way it's going to be on the show. Like, no,
Oh,
they
that's
got,
incredible.
yeah, they've got kind of a lockdown on that kind of stuff. And it's just,
I mean, TY, you got a PS4.
So?
You gonna buy that? You were gonna buy it on PS4, weren't you?
No.
You were gonna buy it on the Xbox.
Yeah,
Okay.
because my PlayStation plays in 1080p, and I have a 4K TV.
I vibe
And
you.
my
Okay.
Xbox plays in 4K, and I like to look at things in 4K.
No, I vibe. I understand why.
if they came out with
Yeah.
a thing that had an exclusive thing for Xbox as well, I think I would feel better about it.
Who would you? Deadpool?
That's not a bad pick.
You know what I would do? I would just not put Spider-Man in the game. It's pretty easy.
Well, because he's not essential to the plot, and he's not.
Yeah.
He's just a playable character, which they want to do. They want to add DLC characters, and I think it would be okay if he's not, if he's a playable character for the multiplayer or something like that, and if he's exclusive. In answer to that, since they're kind of doing this thing where they have the big multiplayer, the big team-based stuff. If you're going to do that, and you're going to release a bunch of DLC, which has multiple characters, because Hawkeye's coming out as a playable character. So it's like, if you have him in the story, is that going to really do anything? Are they going to add lines? Like, how's that work? You know, this game is being geared up as kind of a co-op multiplayer deal, and that's how it's going to extend the life of the game as far as after the story and all the different missions. Fuck it. I mean, who says they have to, like, they don't have to all be Avengers, do they? They just have to be Marvel characters. You could throw in Wolverine as an exclusive character for Microsoft.
Yeah, I agree. I think too. I think one of the what they're trying to capitalize on with this game is something that, you know, Nintendo had an exclusive last year in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3
Mhm.
that didn't do super well. I mean, it didn't do bad, but it didn't. I don't think it sold the way that they thought it was going to. With, you know, the original Ultimate Alliance 1, Ultimate Alliance 2, those were Microsoft exclusives, weren't they?
No.
Oh, see, I thought they were, but anyway, you know, those games were fun, like real fun.
The
And,
Black Order is still really fun. I have it on Switch. It's awesome.
yeah, I just haven't had time to pick it up. Like most people, it's like I'm not gonna rush to the store to get it. You know?
I kind of feel like there's a lot of time in between the 2 and 3 for there to be like the overall series hadn't had anything for a long time, and when it's been dormant, you know, you come out and it's like, yay, we got this is cool. Even though almost 60 million people have a Switch now, you're not getting the same kind of audience or the same kind of tread as if you release the game on both the PlayStation and the Xbox and the Switch. Right. And now I understand that because Nintendo partnered up with a with a developer to do this, and that's why it's exclusive. But
But I feel like that's what they're eventually going to turn this Avengers game into.
Mhm.
It's just going to be another Ultimate Alliance
Yeah.
game because they're going to start adding. I remember in the original one, you could play as Blade,
Mhm.
you know, like I had Venom and Blade and Deadpool and
Mhm.
Wolverine. That's who I was cooking with. Fucking nothing but angry. I got dad problems.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody on that team gets along, man.
Nope.
They-
But I'm excited for it. I think having the Spider-Man exclusive is shitty just because it's not necessary. If like Brandon said, give Microsoft an exclusive character, let it be 50-50, and then then I'm cool with it. But yeah, I'm pumped for it. I think the for a while I thought after what we saw gameplay, or at least on the reveal last year, I thought it wasn't gonna be like that good. I thought when I first saw it, it made me feel very much like this is a video game, a movie video game, kinda. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I'm gonna buy it strictly because all the voice actors that are associated with the main voice actors, they're all some of my favorite people in the industry.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna buy the game to support them more than anything.
I will buy it, but I'm not sure if it's going to be a day one. I kind of did.
Yeah, I agree.
I kind of did the same thing with Spider-Man, and I didn't pre-order it. I wasn't. I was hesitant. I knew I was going to play it eventually, so I wasn't necessarily in a hurry. But it wasn't until like all the reviews came out right about the week before where I started really thinking about it, about picking up Spider-Man, and then like when a few people kind of got it early and they're like, "This is awesome." It really changed my perspective, and I went and got it. Could that happen with this? Yes, sure. But the beta coming out, and you're getting a good glimpse of what the gameplay is and where it's going. I don't know if that's going to be like the same kind of story for me because it.
Have you sat and watched it yet? Any of the actual walk through the beta?
Yeah.
I
don't dislike it, but I'm not hungry for it.
It's different for me because the Spider-Man game is like very much like a self-encapsulated Spider-Man story, and this it seems like to have a very solid thread of a story. I didn't realize it was going to be as large of an RPG element as it is, and it looks like it's going to be a massive, long, arduous game. Not to say it's going to be bad or hard to play, but the levels are huge. The environments are huge. The scope is huge. They're telling the story. You got to think you're in the story, and as you're playing the story, you're jumping between multiple characters. So you're getting perspectives throughout. So I don't think this is going to be like a short game. You put in your 40 hours or whatever and call it a week. This is going to be one of those sit down hundreds of hours. I've played through it multiple times. I have all these things unlocked because of X,
And then also all the multiplayer stuff. If you want to play multiplayer, it's like you have the quick multiplayer stuff, and you also have the ones that take up to an hour or two to beat with other people. So it's like, and that stuff isn't necessarily coordinated with the overall main story campaign. It's just other stuff to do on the side with characters that you're building up.
Yeah, I mean, my hope is that we get an awesome roster of heroes that we get to play as. I will still forever champion how the fuck is there not a VR Ant-Man game? Dude, it would be so immersive, incredible.
Well, they got that new game that's coming out where you're basically like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but it's like multiplayer Skyrim style where
that game looks real cool.
First person. That was so different.
That's a VR game?
It's not a VR game, no.
Sorry.
But no, the way that they have it, it's all perspective, and you're like running around the like the grass, the backyard and shit. It's like it was different. I was like, I can't remember the name of it right now, but I remember seeing that. It was different. I saw some people playing it on YouTube the other day.
So yeah, if you have pre-ordered the PlayStation 4 version of Avengers, you can play the beta right now.
It'll be over. I think it's over this weekend. By the time this comes out, it'll be over. Xbox and PC is next weekend, and then I think after that it goes to open beta.
Open beta to everybody, which is going to be really exciting because a lot of the people I'm pretty sure this is true, Brandon, correct me if I'm wrong. If you have it as a beta, anything you collect, you keep. It carries over in game.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're going to do like the, data matching or whatever. But
Mhm.
I love it. And then, of course, last night being on the journey of all these games and stuff, I like watched an entire thing on the Unreal 5 engine and this demo from PlayStation 5 that blew my mind with the Lumen technology.
Oh, did you watch that? Watch
Dude.
the was it
The
Epic?
showcase?
Epic's like, so that's the first time that you saw them using where they could put things from film properties or things from like that they like effects that they use in actual films. Have you seen that? That was in
I
there.
mean, it's so modern, and they were talking about how they changed how they use a polygon,
Mhm.
and it went from a polyagonal shape to now a triangle, and it's billions of triangles that make up the environments, and that Lumen is its own engine within the engine that tells everything how to react to light.
Yep.
So that no matter what surface it is, it reacts accurately, and they actually used real like photos. They took heat sensitive photos to see how light is affected in the real world to shape it into the Lumen thing. I mean, it was incredible. It blew my mind. I was like, this cave looks so fucking good. It looks real. Like I'm confused.
Oh yeah, no, that blew my mind.
Of course.
To know what stuff
Go
is coming out in the next 2-3 years that's going to be utilizing that.
Well, then my other thing too was like when you see the little demo reel and it's this lady walking in this crazy cave and there are all these like ancient samurai looking things and stuff, and she's climbing and jumping. My first thought is they changed the character of this to not let us know that this is the look. We're getting an advanced look at Uncharted is my guess. Like those are some Uncharted looking ass levels for a new Uncharted series that could be their daughter, the story.
But it's not, but that was a Naughty Dog. That was Epic. That was something that Epic made.
Sure, but what I'm more saying, like, visualize it. You know what I'm saying?
No.
That's what it's gonna look like.
Like, I mean, I'm not sure if Naughty Dog does use Unreal, but I do know that FF7 Remake used Unreal Engine 4, and that they're looking at transporting their stuff, to 5, which could make the FF7 Remake Part 2 look just
even better. Which would they remaster the remake so you'd have Final Fantasy VII Remake remastered?
God damn it. You almost have to, right?
It's there, man. It's gonna happen. And then of course they changed the Xbox logo now, not on the boxes big, optimized for Xbox One X, XXL or whatever.
Yeah. And they're waiting. Xbox and Sony are both waiting to undercut the other one for their on the price. So we still don't know price. We still don't know a release date or pre-orders. What I assume is that we're gonna know by the end of this month.
If you're Sony, you just say, fuck it. Our digital console's $399. Our physical console is $450. And that puts a lot of pressure on Xbox to deliver a little price in that range, and makes for an interesting time coming to the holiday season. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't know if I really have anything else, any other headlines, deadlines, anything real big or major to discuss, guys. Do you have anything else to add?
Not here.
Okay, well, as you guys know, it is motherfucking Shark Week. Make sure to check that out. I got you there.
I'm gonna go shark it up as soon as we get done with this.
I'm doing a shark dance now. Is this the shark dance? Because I'm finning. I don't know that. Yeah, whatever. Shark Boy, I like it. Good reference. Anyways, folks, you've been listening to the Journey into Comics podcast. Make sure to get us on iTunes, which is now Apple Music, Podbean,
Apple
Podcasts. We've got us on
Google Podcasts.
Now on iHeartRadio officially, mother bitches, Spotify, TuneIn, and many others. Yeah, you can just say, Alexa, play Journey into Comics Network, and it will in fact do that. So that's pretty cool. I think that's going to do it for this week. Also, if you're a listener, again, watch the show. You get it Sunday night. Tonight, you're going to watch the show before tomorrow when you can just listen to the show and you can see our beautiful faces and amazing hats as we are the 3-Man Hat Society. I think that's going to do it. Is there anything else you guys want to add before we dive out officially?
Leave us a review on whatever podcasting platform you prefer.
It helps.
He nails it every time. Absolutely, folks. Well, I think that's going to do it for Journey into Comics 308 Cosmic Shark Week, whatever the hell we're going to call it. I'm not really quite sure yet. We'll figure that out on the jump. I've been Nate.
I've been TY.
Hashtag Juggerduck. I've been Brando.
And as always, folks, pop your caps back and fill your brains with that Jugger shit.
I thought you were gonna say that Jugger dick. I was gonna be like, hey man, well, you're going to be censored because you said Jugger dick.
Can you just imagine the Juggerduck grabbing a dude and ripping him in half, and how his quack would sound? It would sound like the most monstrous quack.
Quack. Okay, let's
Why
try
are
it again.
You doing this?
I don't know. Well, anyways, folks, once again, I've been Nate.
I've been Tyler.
I've been Brando.
And as always, pop your caps back and fill your brains with Duggersh shit.
With Duggersh shit.
From the Duggers.
I quit.
The family that has all those kids. All those diapers. All that Dugger shit.
Shit.
Later, guys.